you all my cool water, all my cool water. You can try to hide the rust, a crack a time in your descent. Get your motor sharp and clean. I hate the way you waste away. Hanging on and let you finally see what's mine today. I decide to wait, giving you all my cool water. Come on there, honey. Walking on the steps in time, I've got a shifting in my mind. The time has come to rest this mood. I've taken time to waste away. Hanging on to let you finally see what's mine today. I decide to wait, giving you all my cool water, all my cool water, water. Rock on! I decide to wait. I said, I decide to wait, giving you all my cool water, all my cool water, all my cool water. Ride the road that's low. You got the thunder below, yeah, baby. Got grit in my eyes. The serpent starts to rise.
think that's it. G'day. Sitting in the garage. I was bored. I've actually got to take a reading of a beer. So kids are just going to bed. I thought I might as well turn on the computer. Haven't had a beer since Saturday. So thought I'd have a beer too. G'day, IJ. How you going, mate? You got your hops? Oh, no, you told me that before, didn't you? They turned up for you. I think everyone got their hops. I don't know how many packages I sent, but as far as I know, at least my tracking says everyone got them, which is good. I do have a little bit left over here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I haven't got much left. But, well, less than a box each of less. Ah, cool. Nice, thank you. Yeah, I've got to do some brewing. I've got to be, well, that's why I've sort of was out here too. I've got to do a touching on my mic. It's probably making a noise. Put it in there. I've got to take a reading. So that's a fresh work kit though. So yeah, I didn't brew that one. And the last beer I brewed was the one I did with with Shiv, the white IPA. I can say what it is now without, I mean, it wasn't a huge secret, but just in case his mate saw it, who the party was, I was just keeping it a bit on the quiet. It was for him. So personally for myself, I haven't brewed a beer in this brewery for a while. hopefully the Bendigo beer, the beer we brewed for Bendigo, apparently we really pushed the limits on that. And if anyone saw that little video I did about the Brewers Collective video, they might be going, why are they using hop bags in a... G'day, Aiden. Why are they using hop bags in a, professional microbrewery or whatever you want to call it? And it was the fact that we're just pushing the limits. We really wanted to... it's about a 200 litre system. Well, into the fermenter. I think the kettles are closer to 300 litres, but by the time you get through everything and get it into the fermenter and then you're dumping stuff out of the fermenter, you may as well say you're lucky to get a full 200 litres out. And so we were using hop seed bags in the boil and taking them out. Then we added more wort so we could... after we took the hops out, that gave us a little bit more space. So we added more wort that we'd got ready in a little single vessel system next to the commercial system. So we really were pushing the limits. And I heard today that we did get at least 4 full kegs out of it. And it means now I think the festival only need 3. So I might be able to get a keg back here and can some up and do something with it. Won't be as bad as me. I did my first batch in 8 months ago. 8 months, that's a fair way off. A fair bit of time off. I haven't had that much time off for a long, long time. There has been times in my life where I have, probably had 8 months off, but that was a long time ago. That would be when I would be in between houses and too busy with the bands and things. But usually, as soon as I got into a place, I'd buy a garbage bin or something and start brewing in it. I was always brewing somewhere for alcohol. But I might do this reading now, buying something house. Yeah, so that's always that in-between house thing that's hard, isn't it? Unless you got a good mate, you can go, hey, can I use a bit of your garage for a while? I'll give you a free beer. So I think everyone might know by now. If they don't, oh, by the way, yeah, so if you're going to Bendigo on the hop next weekend, come and see me. Although it's a bit hard because everyone starts in different spots and I don't think I'll be in the same spot all day. So I'll be hopping around, but at least in the morning, we'll be at, I can't remember what it's called. The bottle shop one. There's a bottle shop behind Bendigo Breweries on one side. That's a venue. And then there's a venue in the car park next to Bendigo Brewing, and it's for that bottle shop. I can't remember. Where the venue that's sort of set up in a car park. Living off Audi beer for a while. So if you had Bendigo on the hop, I'll be there in the morning, but I think by the afternoon I'll be wandering around. But I should be there pouring a few beers in the morning. A Bow Batch, I haven't tasted it yet. Someone Shiv bought me a can down last week, but he was mucking around trying to can some, and I got the can that didn't work. That was on purpose. I don't know how many he canned, but he goes, I bought you this one, but it's open. Like it had seamed it, but not properly. He goes, it might be all right. And I opened it that next day, and it's had it. Oxygen, I got to it, and it was terrible. But it's supposed to be good. I was speaking to the guy's brewery. We brewed it in the Brewers Collective today, and he said it's tasting good. And they got 4 kegs, so hopefully I'll get a keg back here and might be able to can some and send some around maybe. That's the plan. Not all these things always go to plan. First thing is getting a full keg of beer, well, whatever's left of that full keg of beer from Bendigo to here, and then dealing it when it's here. Although I do have one of those Kegland cannula fillers they sent me to try, because I've borrowed another story. Shiv's gone to work in Tassie for a little while and couldn't have all his gear, so he lent me his cannula while he's in Tassie. So I've got a canner here, and now I can try the new whiz-bang canning thing. and hopefully can up that beer. But in the meantime, what I was getting to was Kegland. Well, everyone knows that the co-conspirators have been doing a lot of their first walk kits lately, and so apparently they've improved a lot. I haven't had one since the improvement. It's been a good, probably, I don't know, it might have been close to a year now, but I haven't done one of their kits for a while. Last time I did them was out of the old place. So they sent me two to try, but I've only got one in so far. I've got the IPA in, but they sent me the hops and yeast to do I can't remember what they call it. It's got like a pirate on it. I can't remember, but that'll all be on video soon. But I haven't taken a reading yet at all. I sort of had a reading at the start, but it's been fermenting. I think it's been 3 days. And I haven't taken a reading. So I just want to know whether I should bump the temperature. And I'm guessing right now, they say bump the temperature at 10:30, but soon the Homebrew Network will be gone off these ones. Well, there'll be both. Because some people will buy my shirts, and won't want Homebrew Network written on it because it says Homebrew or whatever. So I'll have ones that just look like a brewery gear. I make up the designs and then I get them sent away. I send them away and they send me back the transfers and I iron them on. My ironing on things behind me. Not a big press thing, but a thing. They're really good. They last. So this has been washed a couple of times and well, they shouldn't be. It's illegal at the moment, as far as I know, to be using GMO yeast in the country. But that's another rabbit hole because when they say grain, all our grains, you wouldn't get. We've played with it somehow, crossbreeding and selectively crossbreeding, and that's all, genetically modified in a way, we've bred out things but no, with yeast, we're not supposed, unless they've changed the rules, we're not supposed to be using GMO yeast in Australia. It's one of those. There's a couple of places you still can't, and we're one of them. So if they're promoting that they're using GMO yeast, unless the laws are changed, they could get into trouble. Oh, some nice new choices. I thought you said clothes. I need my glasses. Sorry, man. I need my glasses cleaned. Thought I did clean them before, but I saw it said clothes. One beer. I don't think, look, I've tried a few of the beers from overseas that are GMO, and some are great and some aren't. Even like, as much, we've talked about it enough here. What's that yeast I don't like? The peachy one. There's some people are going to love it, but it really makes beers, I find, sort of more one-dimensional. And I know that sounds weird, but I couldn't get rid of that peach thing that the yeast throws no matter what I did to it. And if you don't like peach, then... But you'd be surprised that the breweries... I'd be surprised if there's a brewery at the moment not using some sort of liquid hop in some form, whether it be, terpenes of some sort or... there's all different sorts now that most of home brewers don't even know about. The big few they don't know about, some they do. But there's not many beers made now because it saves you money, even though the product's more expensive, but you save on losses, you get less losses. And just about everyone I've talked to, which is a lot in the last 6 months, at least some to all of their beers have got some sort of product in it. So that's the trouble when someone goes, "Oh, try this beer. Here's this yeast," and you go, "Wow, that's a great beer." But what is that? The yeast you're tasting, or is that the hops, or is that the liquid hops? Liquid hops is what they first started being called. There's so many different names and stuff now, and liquid hops doesn't quite do them justice anymore. But there's that many different, as I said, different products that it's hard to keep up with all the names. I've got a few here. I haven't got any. I'd really like to get my hands on some of the bittering ones, but I've got a few like the I can't even remember what they're called, Spectrum and stuff. I used them years ago when they first come out, but we didn't really have sample packets then. And then homebrew shops would stick them in these little bottles, and they were really hard to get out because they got sticky. But now they're in these little satchel things like a yeast, and they're much easier to use for home brewers. But yeah, that's what I always say about these things. It's like, thiols and all these beers. And I mean, I even asked Scott Janish one time, "G'day, mate, in Greece." I said, using this, because he bought the first beer I'd had that was GMO yeast over with him when I met him that time. And so I had a beer with him, and I said, "Man, what's coming from what?" And he goes, he doesn't know. Like, when you're throwing, kilos and kilos and kilos of hops, and you're using Spectrum hops, and you're using a yeast, and you're using this, and you're using that, you can, it's pretty hard to tell exactly what's coming from what. Although, as you're talking about your yeast, there is that yeast. What's it called? That peachy one? I've tried to erase it from my mind. I've had no problems with Cellar Science yeast at all. I've heard some people online say it's a slow start, and that's a little bit weird, because most of them, and they've made it public now anyway, what the strains are. So they're just, yeah, Pomona. That was the one, Pomona. Like, I can't stand Pomona. I don't know. And I tried all their tricks to make it taste not like peach, and it still had that peach thing. It's kind of like, I guess, sensitive to that kind of stuff, because it's like the quike yeasts. I don't care how many people say what this is clean and that's clean. I can always taste it. There's always that dirty, dusty thing at the background. So maybe that's, people are sensitive to different things. The diesel hop. I've kind of got used to it a little bit, but not a lot. Please may I ask if you know what is the diameter to connect from the Firmzilla under pressure to iTap X Pro, and how long it should be? I don't even know what an iTap X Pro is. Although iTap, I think I've had an iTap at one stage. They were supposed to send me some new stuff, but I didn't like some of the other stuff. Maybe they've realised that they've contacted me again and gone, "Oh, hang on, that's the guy that didn't like what we're doing before." But I've been waiting. I've been wanting to try it. So. iTap X Pro. iTap Pro. All right, so it's kind of the same as the last one. It's just on a stand. Is that right? Hang on, let me see. Oh, no, I don't want a video. I just want... I don't need to see a bloody video. Oh, there it is. iTap X Pro growler fillers. Well, I just thought it was crap that you had to build something. At the time, I didn't have time to build things. They should have always sold it with a stand. And now they have made a stand for it. I said, so yeah, I'd be happy to review it now. Have I lost the internet or something? Or is it just that website? I think it's just that website. It's not letting me go to their website. I'm banned from their website. Go to someone else's website. And go to someone else. Oh, God, it would be there. Yeah, so it's one of those. Well, you'd just be using beer line. They have a so you'd be filling from the top. Yeah, you're not going from the bottom. So if you're filling from the top, it'd just be a normal beer line, and you should be able to connect the normal beer line up to the iTap. Do I still have a box of the old one around? I haven't seen it for a while. I thought I left it out to have a look at again, but I'm not sure where it is. I think it's probably in a box down there. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. But it'd have to accept normal beer line, like their 8 mil. You got a lot of foam. Well, that's. I can't remember if they're counter pressure. They have some counter pressure, don't they? So it's all about counter pressure. It's all about trying to keep the lines cold, which is kind of hard to do. You're always going to get warm if you let it sit there for 5 minutes, stuff around, and then go and do one. You've got to sort of keep going. First couple will be foam, and then once the lines are cold and you keep moving, it should be okay. Did I just shut that window? Yeah, I did. There shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't really be about distance and things like that. No, 8 mil outside. Normal beer line. I don't know what sort of beer line you use in Greece, but in Australia we use a pretty standard sized beer line where it's all of it just about. There is some bigger ones, but the more or less the standard one is 8 mil outer diameter and either 4 or 5 inside. Yeah, but the distance for it's hard. It's all testing and stuff. It's not like, I know what you're trying to say. It's when you've got a tapping set up and you've got 3 or 4 meters of line and you need that or whatever. That's what you need to do, but it's different. No, you haven't made me tired, but it's different for when you're bottling. Bottling's it's a different thing. You're not pouring a beer, you're filling a beer. A little bit of line will help, of course, but it's all about you've got to be setting pressures and the counter pressures. You can't go too fast. People will tell you to chill bottles and things, but that makes such a minimal difference. And every time I tried to do it a long time ago, you'd get 6, even if you just got 6 bottles out at once. By the time you got 1 or 2 bottles in, the rest were warm anyway. So I always learnt to do it. There was a bit of a waste of time trying to chill bottles and things. It's all when you're trying to package carved beer. It's all about the counter pressure. It's all about keeping the pressure on it on the bottling side, on the packaging side. It might be a slow process, but that's what it's all about. Because if you've got enough pressure there, it can't foam up. You're going nice and slow, and it shouldn't be foaming up. That's what you've got to play with. That's what you got to play with. You got to play with your pressures. Half. Oh well. I know. It's best to start at what your beer's carved at. So if your beer's carved at just under a bar, then that's what you bottle at. And try and get it super cold. try and do it super cold. Like you get the beer nice and cold. And so you're probably trying to do it in the middle of summer over there too, aren't you? So it's going to be a little bit harder. Those things are just going to get warm really quick. So have the beer really cold. And it's about the counter pressure. It's about keeping pressure in the bottle. And so if your beer's carved at half a bar, then start at half a bar. You might even start the bottle a little bit higher and then sort of work your way down until it starts to flow, and just take your time. It's not really about beer line length and things. It's not as crucial as a tap setup. But of course, all that stuff matters. If you're coming out of a quarter-inch fitting or a 6 mil, 4 mil fitting, and then you're going into a 10 mil internal diameter tube that's 2 meters long, that's probably going to cause you problems. It'll all even out in the end, but you're going to probably lose a lot of beer at the start. All right, hang on. I'm going to take this reading, see where we are. I reckon we're going to, as I said, Kegland said about day 3, it'll be 10:30. I think we're on day 3. I can't remember what day I did it. But I reckon we'll be past 10:30. Cellar Science yeast. This is the Cali Science, which you would, call a USO5 or is it WLP 001? I haven't used liquid yeast for so long, but I'll just quickly grab a sample. Hang on. Now you can't really see, but I didn't really want to move the camera, and you'll be looking at the light anyway. I might be able to go a little bit. It's not much to see there. You probably just see my plumber's crack. What am I looking for? I'll just grab this and sanitize it a bit. I don't like lights on in the fridge, but I've been taking videos of this because I'm using an anti-foam. I don't have to yell, my mic's here. I've been using an anti-foam product that stops krausen. So I've been wanting to film with the light on. Make sure that's shut. Oh, there's no pressure in here because even though I usually ferment under pressure, I've been making sure that it's actually the product that's keeping the krausen down and not the pressure. So that means I'm going to have to put some CO2 on it. This bottle weighs a ton. It hasn't really started dropping out much. So it's nowhere near done, but I still think it's a fair way in. And I have a feeling we'll be under the 10:30 they suggest. But who knows? I know we won't be too far under, but you never know. What did I do with it? Thing. There it is. I should have thrown that first sample away. You should always throw the first sample away and take another sample, but I am filtering this. So hopefully any junk and stuff that got through will be filtered out anyway. And sanitizer cloth. This is nearly run out. Come on. And I better put that funding valve back on, or we're going to be in trouble. Just the pressure I put in there myself. That light turns off when you shut the door, so you don't want any sort of light on your beer at all. I can still stuff it up. Might take longer with different light, but I can still stuff it. It's not just UV light or whatever. Okay. Well, that should be enough. I can, not that there's much to see, but for those who haven't seen these things, just they are so handy. They're expensive, I'm not going to lie. If I never got it sent to me, I probably wouldn't have one, but I wouldn't have one. Oh, g'day Northwest, sorry. It's a West Coast IPA. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. Nearly. All right, there we go. Who's sending me messages? I don't know what that is. Shouldn't be looking, but... Oh, sigh. God, I haven't heard from him for ages. He used to... all right. Oops, I used the old syringe. It's really sticky. Oh, I've got the other one in here as well. Just grabbed the wrong one. Not sure why I haven't thrown it away. I didn't use a pill. There's one of the reasons for that is, well, it's kind of a beginner video again too, you know, first word, just trying to show people you don't really, although I did use a pressure fermenter, but I'm not fermenting under pressure, but I don't really have any other fermenters anymore. Oh, I do have a little stainless one over there, but yeah, I just showing you don't, I didn't really need to for West Coast. There's no sort of, there's only this bit of when ramping, but I'd be ramping now. Hang on, I'll check that in a minute. Just trying to decarb it, so you just put your finger over the end and pull back a few times. That helps to decarb it. And the only reason for that is, you know, it's a very fine tube. The tube, a U tube in there, kind of thing. You can kind of see it. You know, if you get bubbles in there, then it doesn't read properly. Now, I nearly threw my pill in, and then I thought, well, I'll just pretend I don't have one. Not really needed. They're extremely handy, of course, but well, it's one of the benefits of us having something like this too. I only have to take out, you know, that's twice as much beer as I need to take a reading. So, you know, it's not that much of a hassle to take a reading. Yeah, I'm showing beginners how to do it, but anyway. Perth IPA, yes. Now that's not high enough. I'm just going to have to hold it. I need my phone. Hang on. This one runs on a bloody app, of course. What's it called? Oh, Brewmaster. Just get a little bit through. This is going to make a mess. Put it on. Turn it on. There we go. Now you can see the tube. And like, oh, g'day, Si. I'm headless. And we'll have a look and see. This does the alcohol thing automatically. You don't have to worry about adjusting it because there's alcohol in it and stuff. It's going to work. Where have you been, Si? I was talking about you the other day. Only, I reckon, less than a month ago. Oh, g'day, exit. How you going? Except now my phone's not going to join to it. Oh, you know what it is? I know it's working. I was joined to the professional. I was brewing beer in a brewery a few weeks back. Oh, you're kidding. When I said I reckon it's under 1020, it's saying 1012. I'll just push a bit more through because it could be got some air bubbles in it. Yeah, how the bloody hell are you, Si? Yeah, it's yeah. Oh my god, yeah, it's time to ramp. It's probably at final gravity. Now I look for you. It's funny. I look for you about once a year, probably more. Because I've got this folder where I put all the photos of me with brewers, and you wouldn't have it now. But I know you're the only one that had a photo of me and Jane from Two Birds, even though I've met her heaps after that. But I've been looking for that photo ever, and I couldn't figure out who had it. And I went, I reckon it's Si. Oh, so there we go. Oh, I didn't take a, hang on, let me take a screenshot of that. It's probably too late. Oh, no, it's not. Cool. So, oops, hang on, wrong button. Where is it? Friday night, turn the right camera on. Oh, there it is. Oh, good to see you, man. I've always been, yeah. As I said, every now and then I haven't really talked to Pete much either. Pete sort of went missing as well, but his wife put a photo up of him today, and he's in hospital for something. He's got an infection in his knee or something. But that's the first time I've seen Pete for ages too. Oh, thank you, mate. Looking old, eh? Yeah, well, these things, when you work in breweries, I've been doing a lot of around, bigger breweries with lots of money. They still have this. You can buy like Anton Par machines, and they're 20,000, 30,000, for huge dollars. I'm not exaggerating. And when you look inside, they've still got the same little glass thing. Maybe the stuff outside it's more fancy, but they still test the same way. Now I just need some water to rinse that out before it gets all crappy. It's just the same as any. Oh, I don't have to yell. I keep forgetting. Any equipment, doesn't matter if it's your pH equipment or your refrac, take care of it or it's going to be buggered. Doesn't matter if it cost you $10 or $2,000 or $20,000. If you don't look after it, it's going to break. My gut's back over winter. I'm not happy, but not like it was. Not like it was, but that'll do till tomorrow. I'll take another reading. Oh, that means, yes, I should have bumped it. I knew it was getting near the end. I didn't think it'd be quiet at that stage, though. I reckon it'll only... Oh, down the Bellarine. Okay. I spend a lot of my time down... Well, a lot of my time. Whenever I get out down Torquay way these days, I sort of... We nearly moved down there. But, yeah, I spend a lot of time, whenever I can, down there. Mostly during summer, though. But I was down Torquay last weekend at the beer festival at Blackman's. Yeah, we're still going to do that. We're too late now with the cherry ripe beer. Everyone's done it, except you've got the... That's a long story. We won't go on about that now, but every time I see one, I think of you. Gavin, I want to know if you could give me some more tips on when to pick my hops. Well, your nose will tell you, man. Mine sort of come in two waves. You'll get some that are ready pretty quick, but I sort of ignore them a bit. It depends on your plants and how big they are, but they'll look beautiful and you'll look at them and go, wow, 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 wow. But there'll be this one day where you just go, oh, bang, and you'll start seeing all the yellow stuff drop out of them and that. Oh, they'll be wet when you take them off the plant still. They'll be wet when you take them off the plant. You don't dry them on the plant. Most of them look like they'll start sort of dying on the ends, a lot of the varieties. So they're not as pretty as you see a lot of the photos all the time. But you'll know. Hey, go on, you'll know when they're ready because they'll just go bang. And then you've only got a couple of days to a week usually then to get them off. It's a lot of the time why I don't use them. And then if you're going to use them wet, as soon as you pick them, you've got to use them in a day or two. Yeah, you should see when they're all ready and they're really nice, you'll start, that loop, you'll start seeing dropping out of them and it'll start just sprinkling all over their leafy things. And you'll know when they're ready. If you go and smell them every day, just one day they'll go bang and you'll go, that's the time. But as I said, sometimes you can get this flush of ones that are a bit early. On my ones I do anyway. Some are a bit early and then sometimes I do pick them off, but then all of a sudden the rest, of course you're better off waiting till the most of them are ready instead of just going a bit early. And then you got to watch the weather too. So, you don't want it, if you know you're going to get rain and it's a tricky thing. That's a lot of the times why I haven't used them because that's all about timing. I say it's a bit different for brewers because they can go when they go to these farms and get their hops for wet hops beer. They'll, the farm will have acres and acres and acres, and they'll go, all right, these ones are ready. Now I'll come and get them, or no, those ones aren't quite ready yet, but these ones are the same variety, but they're I'm doing a Sapporo Black Premium tonight. Ooh. Nice. What, you're brewing tonight or you're drinking it? You're drinking one? I'm guessing you're saying you're drinking it. When you say doing it, what are you doing? Butt chugging? I bet you would be butt chugging it. Sapporo, would you? No, I keep forgetting I'm on YouTube and not Twitch. So that's all I really had to do tonight. I did get some interesting new Bass and Das cartoon for Down Under. Oh, you mean Baz and Daz or something like that. With the Siggy. Oh, the two. Oh, no, I'm thinking of something else. I don't know what you're talking about. I probably would if I seen it. Yeah, I thought you must have jumped off the wagon. At least the brewing one. Where are you down at the Bellarine? You don't have to give me an address, but Oh, they're all right, mate. They're all right. They're alive. Well, they've all had the bloody some sort of flu or something. I reckon it's been worse than the flu. They've been really sick for the last. Kelly's had it for like 5 or 6 weeks, and both kids have gone through them, but they're just getting over it now. It's been a pain in the ass having them all home sick. Had one kid home sick 1 week, but they've been really crook. It's not just a cold or whatever. I've managed to dodge it. I haven't had it, so lucky. But besides that, they're okay. Well, we won't go into it on here. Yeah, well, that's big. Poor old Kel's had it for even longer, but only just longer than 4. I reckon 5 or 6 weeks. But yeah, they've been. All right, take it easy, matey Grease. Yeah, I can try and help a bit more. It's a bit hard. I wasn't ready for but as it's all about the counter pressure. Try to bottle at the pressure your beer's at, because once you start dropping pressure in the bottle, then you're going to get foaming. You're going to get foaming. Well, the GP over here hasn't even left it. They've always been on it, although I've stopped doing it lately. It's funny, the doctor's surgery says it out the front, and the nurses say it, and then I get into my doctor and goes, fucking take it off. So I don't wear them in anymore, but peace. Take it easy, Grease. Peace, Grease. I'm going to have another beer. So I haven't had a beer since Saturday night. Oh, I can't read that out here in the dark. It's a bit hard to read. It says it's a West Coast IPA, an IPA infused with grapefruit crush terpenes. So this is what I mean. All beers these have some sort of terpene and I hope they're subtled and mixed in properly, because when they're not, you can still taste them the next day, and I'm over it a bit. Featuring CTZ. CTZ, that's the mixture of hops, isn't it? I can't remember. Magnum, Cascade, Centennial, Citra, and Mosaic. There's all these. I've got a whole heap of them here, but I don't really like them very much. But you've got to use them really subtly. I've got a couple of boxes somewhere. Oh, they're in the fridge. That one I can't get to. I can get to, but I can't be bothered moving the. Maybe I put them both in the fridge. Oh, I think I might have put one inside. Hang on. I'll just go and have a look. Shit. Shut properly. So these are the. I keep forgetting you can hear me in there. Do I swear? It's not like you, Michael. These are the new satchels I was telling you about, which are better size for home brewers. The Spectrum, the Citra one. They're these things. The other ones are abstracts, but I've been enjoying these ones a little bit better than abstracts. These ones are called euphorics. Abstracts are made by, I'm not sure who makes them, but Bintani send them around. And euphorics are from Barhas, or Bathhaus, however you pronounce it, or Haas. So HBA in Australia send these around. They're very fancy, aren't they? Oh, it's just a new trial hop from Clayton Hop Farm. I haven't used it, but it's been coming like the last one. It's probably for years in professional breweries. They get sample hops all the time and their numbers, but you never really knew. And then it sort of got trendy in craft breweries to put a number up and say, "Oh, look, we've got an experimental hop. Come and try the beer." Because hop farms send them out to people to try and go, get their reactions and stuff. And so it's just got, in the last couple of years, even home brewers are starting to get their hands on them. So it's just a bit of a promo, see how it goes. And then if everyone likes the number of hop it is, it'll get a name. One day it'll get a name. So that's all it is. I haven't tried it. I've had so many other ones here. I've got a HBA 033 in the keg in there that I enjoy. But they're the essences of terpenes. You can get ones that are taste like pot, which pot tastes like shit, right? I don't like what pot tastes like. Pot smells good, it tastes shit. Now this isn't thiols though. This is like an extract. So some of these are fruit, some of them are pot, some of them are, so that's strawberry something, and they're not all just for beer though. You can make seltzers and put it in, or, if you got a keg of vodka and soda water and you want a bit of flavouring in it, stuff like that, But people are putting them in beers. But they've become pretty big. Oh, it's in that bloody fridge again. All my stuff's moved over to this fridge, which is behind everything. Because I'm fermenting in that other fridge. I'm going to have to move it. I'll probably knock things over in a minute. Try not to. It's the mic stand, which isn't a mic, but the light. Still haven't sold this bloody NOx setup, which I've got to put on eBay soon. I think I'm going to put it on for $1. It's only worth $7,000, but I want it gone. Well, I didn't put the abstracts in there. I don't know what I've done with the abstracts ones. I didn't really like them. I tried them in a couple of beers. I didn't like it. But here's one that Filter Brewing did. And Filter won a lot of awards this year at the Beer Awards. That one, Euphoric, if you're in Sydney, if you tried that, that's got these euphorics in it. Got 2 of them in it, I believe. But it's not these ones. These ones, you're going to get it. Most breweries and a lot of the huge ones, Filter, all of them, man. They're all using some form of liquid hops these days. There's not many that aren't. Oh, I don't want to go on about thiols again, but they're so small that, yes, they make a difference because you don't need much of it, but they're extremely volatile as well. So one thing you do wrong and they're gone. And look, it's a bit of a marketing thing. They do make a difference. But, I think it's overhyped a bit myself. I'd rather, if they were never invented, I wouldn't have cared. I mean, thiols are in your beer, right? Citra releases thiols without any help. It doesn't need special yeast. It doesn't need this. It doesn't need that. That's why Citra's so good, though, But so you can do these things without it. Yeah, it is a nice colour. It's a Bridge Road beer, if you didn't see the can. I was talking to Bennett last Saturday. I'm a bit warm sitting out here, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. terpenes. It's a bit lighter in this, but I can taste it. It's funny that I can now. We used one when I did that collaboration brew with the zythologist for the party I was talking about earlier, and I've talked about the last few weeks. We used an old school one. This one, because it was, usually use orange peel and coriander. Well, we used coriander, but we didn't have orange, so we used this Natural Additions grapefruit. And this is an early version of, these fancier ones now, the euphorics. It's funny that, because I was getting this, I was a little bit worried that we'll get some sort of astringency, but I reckon it's the grapefruit. Because that's what it is, because it's the same sort of little bite it's got. Interesting. But again, it's a bit too much for me. A lot of these beers, I don't know if I'm getting old. I don't think so. Do extracts make me sad? What sort of extracts? Are you talking these ones I'm talking about now, or are you talking about the Keg King one pot or Brewmeister? I don't have a Brewmeister. I don't have anything Keg King anymore. But I'm still using single vessel systems, yes. Systems. I got a 3V. Oh no, this is only. Well, that's a very fancy 1V, I guess. I might build a 3V again. I don't know. But no, I'm still on the single vessels at the moment. It's been too. G'day, John. It's been too easy. As I used to say to everyone, I'd have my 3V set up out here, and then I'd come out the night before to get things ready and look at the single vessel and go, fuck, all I've got to do is fill it up with water. 3V, you've got to spend an hour or two the night before or that day, running things through the lines, make sure nothing's got in it or something, and hours of cleaning and setup. And single vessels are so easy. So hop extracts just seem like an industrialization of home brew. Well, none of them have actually replaced. Well, you still need to put in other hops. Otherwise, to me, they taste like shit. So you've still got to blend. But what they are good for at the moment, Boltzmann, is that breweries are going broke everywhere. And if you can get another 20% of beer, maybe depending on the size of your brewery, that could be anywhere from 2 kegs, 5 kegs extra to sell by using, swapping one hop for a hop oil or a hop extract of some sort, and you can't tell in the beer, then it's a no-brainer. So that's one of the reasons a lot of them are doing it. The product I'm using in the fermenter over there at the moment, Hop Aid, and they're different from what they used to be. Like the hop extracts used to be really, really weird and extracted weird and all that, but they're much more natural. They're done a lot better these days. So I'm using an anti-foam product in there. Most of anti-foam products, like the old stuff, is made of like a silica. You may as well say silicon, same as baby burping stuff. The one I'm using now is made out of hops. But it does the same kind of thing, although they say it's better because it keeps the krausen, and keeping the krausen down does a couple of things. One, you can fit another, depending on the size of your fermenter. For home brewers, it's probably only a couple of litres. For a commercial brewery, you might be able to fit another 50 litres in, another 100 litres in your fermenter and not have to worry about the krausen coming out and losing beer. So there you go. You got more volume per batch. But the good thing about this Hop Aid, we'll do a video about it soon, is that it stops the krausen, but it acts differently to the way the silicon one does. And so it keeps the proteins in the beer. So once your beer has foamed up, it won't foam up again. So once that reaction with all the proteins and stuff that makes your head, once it's done, it's done. You know, it's like when you pour a beer, really bad pour, and it's really, really foamy, but then it's flat in the glass and it's got no head. Once your head's done, it's done. So keeping as many proteins as you can in your beer, that happens with the Krausen as well. So the fact that you're keeping all that in the beer is apparently really good for your head as well. So all these products and all these new ones nowadays are 100% hops. There's nothing else in there except hops. It's just extracted. You know, they've got rid of the green shit that causes, you know, people carry on about grassiness that I've never really had a problem with, but, you know, grassiness and things like that. Once the green matter's gone, you don't get that anymore. You don't have to worry at all. So there's benefits, but no, they're not going to replace them. They'll never replace, well, I won't say, you should never say never, but at the moment, most beers are going to, you still need to put tea. It's even, you know, it's the same with I can't remember what they're called either. You know, your stronger hops with the less green stuff in them, what are they called? Like your cryo hops and things like that. You know, they've just taken more of the green matter out and tried to leave the good shit in. But in the end, I don't really like all cryo beers. It just tastes a little bit better if you've got a little bit of T90 still in there. I mean, it's like that beer, that famous old American beer. What is it? That one of those huge IPAs. And they used an extract for the bittering back then because that's all you could probably get. But it just saves losing beer because they put that much hops in. You lose so much of the beer when you make it. So expensive. That any sort of benefit you can get that people aren't going to notice. So that's what it is. If you don't notice and it doesn't taste any different. I take it easy, Mick. Have a good night's sleep, mate. Actually, that reminds me, otherwise I'll forget. I'm just going to bump the temperature on this. Actually, I'll turn the chilling off, but it's probably too late to turn the chilling off. Should have turned the chilling off last night by the looks of it. Turn the chilling off anyway, just in case it does free rise, but I don't think it's going to at 10:12. Turn the chiller off and just bump the temperature up. We'll go to 22. Probably a bit warm, but it'll be right. Do you think it'll eventually keep us the styles you can't make without extracts? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised with the thiol freaks, like the freak people that really swear by thiols. That you know, they make some sort of beer that you have to, not so much, you know, the extract thing, but you have to use a certain yeast or something. You know, it could. You should never say never. But the way the BJCP usually works, and for some reason, a lot of people take notice of that bunch of old fogies. It takes some years to do anything. Oh, lately they've been better, I guess, but in a way, they've been stuffing around with old recipes too, and it makes you wonder, why are they changing old recipe styles? Yeah, I'm not really enjoying that as much as I thought I was going to. It's got that bitter thing. I reckon it must be that grapefruit stuff. It's not like hop bitter, but it's a bitter. That would be weird. Well, you know, maybe these people I shouldn't say these people, it sounds like I'm taking the piss out of them. And my mate's brewed a good one. But again, I can only have a couple. Shit, I'll trip over my speaker cord. Cords everywhere. My mate's brewery made this one. You can see the pot leaf all over it. Title shift, focus on it. It was inhale, exhale, terpene infused West Coast IPA. And they kind of end up tasting like bong water. You know, because hops, I mean, as I've always said, pot smells good, but it doesn't taste like it smells. And that, you know, again, I could wake up and taste it for the next day. But when I was at the brewery, I had a couple of pints of it and didn't mind it, but I couldn't sit there all night and drink it. But some people loved it. But to me, it's always got that bong water thing. It's just, at least hops taste like hops. Hops smell like pot. Pot smells like hop, but pot doesn't taste, you know, it just doesn't taste good. But yeah, you know, I remember the night I had a couple one night and really loved it, but then I could taste it for days. I was there when they put all the stuff in it too. I'll have to turn this off. He'll come and punch me. No, but I actually enjoyed the beer, but I couldn't drink much of it. Whether they'll brew that one again, I don't know. Actually, those title shifts are only one off. But since then, like even at Gab's last year, there was one from another brewery, because that was a year or two ago now, the Bells one. At Gab's last year, a brewery had one, and it was a kind of similar thing. It wasn't a West Coast, I don't think. I think it was like a IPL hoppy lager thing, but had it in it. And even at Gab's, I was at Gab's for 3 days or something, and I, you know, tried a different, 20, 30 beers a day, and I had one glass of one of these hot terpene ones in the morning. That's all I could taste again. Like, in my fridge in there, I've got a pale ale and 2 kegs of pale ale that I brewed on the commercial system. What do I call it? I called it School Days Pale Ale. And I've got my wife's one I brewed for the wife, the White Rabbit sort of cloney thing. And the HBA 033, which is a hoppy pale ale thing. That's inside on tap. And out here I've got the red ale that I brewed on the commercial system thing. And I think my Saison ran out. Yeah, my Saison ran out. There's one other keg in there. What's the other one? I remember what the other one is. I don't know. Mainly pale ales. Oh, well, I mean, I had 600 litres of beer to get rid of. And one whole batch I kind of gave away. I've still got a few cans of that here because they canned some. And then the pale ale, I bought most of that back here. And the red ale I bought back here. So I had 15 kegs of it. So that's why there's a lot of pale ale around. I haven't brewed much at home because I've had so much beer. And when I have brewed, it's been for other people. So, well, there's a West Coast in the fridge. Oh man, I've still got. I just gave away about 30 kilo hops, or probably more, and I've still got a fair bit. So, yes, I'm going to brew a big hoppy number. I've probably still got 20 kilo of hops here, not including what my usual stuff in the fridge. But yeah, I could still give some away, but fuck, I'm over. Excuse my language. I'm over packaging them up. No, I got given a whole batch from, donated a whole batch from Bintani. Mostly was for a brew school I might be teaching at in Bendigo. That was about 40 kilo of each hop or 30 kilo of each hop, and they gave me 20 kilo of each hop or 10 kilo of each hop, and I was giving away 5 kilo of each and trying to keep 5 kilo of each for me. I've given away a little bit more than I, was supposed to, but then I had there's so much more than I need to use. I'm not going to use it all. So I've given away a lot of hops, but that's fine. and the three, pro size batches of pro. I keep hate the word pro for beer brewers because all the pro brewers, the people that use that term on themselves are usually wankers. I shouldn't. It's a joke. But I'm a pro brewer. Anyway, no, that's a joke. But yeah, but I've done a few like commercial size batches, only small commercial, but it's 1, 3, 4, and they've all used these hops. I've still got a shitload left. I don't know what happened to the ones that went to the school. If they're probably still sitting there, I don't know. Well, look, there's one thing Si, the beer's not going to be any different whichever you choose. So a 3-vessel system's not going to make your beer taste any better than a single vessel. Whatever you got the space for, whatever you feel like doing, it's nice looking at a 3-vessel. It is nice. I think I'm going to build one again, but I'll probably give it away. I've been saying that for years, but I've just been so busy the last 12 months because that was a 12-month course thing I just done. Been a bit busy. Yeah, see those white things behind? Oh, you probably can't really see. They're all full of beer. I've only got 4 kegs left there, and they're mostly red ale. There is 1 pale ale there, but that's it. The rest are 3. I've got 3 kegs of red, one keg of pale left. Oh, By the Ocean Brewery is what for years oh fuck, that's good watering. I resisted the urge. Well, I never had the urge, to be honest. Who asked that? I think it was Peter, John Carter. I always thought, I think everyone's a wanker, as I just said before, including myself. But I always thought it pretty wanky when someone, offend everyone here, called their garage a brewery, and they went, I'm a brewery and stuff, and so I never did it. I never did it. I always had Booze Bandits HQ, but I've had that for years, and I never called it a brewery. It's just Booze Bandits headquarters where we used to drink a lot of stuff. So By the Ocean is what, if I start a brewery, that's what it's going to be called. So it's mine. I'm stuffing around with designs and stuff. I actually like the one on the back. I don't know if you can see it or not when I turn around. I can't see where the camera's. I like that one. I can't remember if Pete ended up changing to a single vessel. I have a feeling he ended up. How you going? The Misadventures of a Little Wolf. I am doing a video. Well, I was supposed to do it today, but again, I ran out of time doing other stuff out here. Like the patrons, if you're in my Patreon, you've seen these already, or if you haven't looked, there's a new product about. They're like pH strips, but apparently for everything: calcium, magnesium, iron, sulfate. Like for brew strips, in one strip, can test everything: calcium, magnesium, iron, sulfate, bicarbonate, total alkalinity, pH, total chlorine, total hardness. I haven't had much success with them at the moment. I've only tried them once, and I was mucking around with it a bit today. It's really hard if you're testing your water here. There's nothing in our water. That's why I don't bother ROing anymore, because there's just, I think the biggest number in our water is about 16. And I just don't know if I don't think they're accurate enough for brewers. I don't know. I'm going to send them a message back and go, not as much as I'd like to, Si. I've been trying to play my bass a lot. Oh, I can't play, yeah. Oh, no, I play music on my stream. On my Saturday night stream, is the same as it used to be. And I tried something new 2 weeks ago to try and get music onto YouTube, but I got in trouble off YouTube again, so it didn't work. But on Twitch, I do the same as on Vaughn. I can do it, but it works. You know how Vaughn used to stutter all the time and be shit because they don't have any Australian servers? That's why I moved to Twitch. That's tomorrow night. Yeah, so I don't know about those strips yet. I'm undecided, but, I'll give them another go. Yeah, YouTube I get in trouble from. Twitch just works. I'm up there with all the girls with titties and kids playing video games, but it doesn't matter. It works. And I've been there for longer than all of them. I should have stayed with JTV, man. People are making millions of dollars on Twitch, man. I was there from the start. It was that stupid when we left Twitch and left JTV and went to Vaughn. That killed us. If we had stayed on Twitch, which JTV turned into Twitch. If we had stayed there and been there from the start, I wouldn't be sitting in this bloody garage in Point Cook, let me tell you. Far away from here. But it is funny when the upstarts come in and go into the room. Sometimes they've stopped now there. What are you doing, you old bastard? I said, mate, I was streaming on here. Have a look, because even though we started on JTV, if you look on Twitch how long I've been streaming for, it's like 14, 15 years now or something. Yeah, I just did. I picked the wrong thing, Little Wolf. I shouldn't have picked Brewing. You'll never get a lot of viewers. Like Brewing just doesn't, unless you're an American, and even then it's hard. You've still got to have money behind you and stuff to get up there these days. But the audience is just too small. Yeah, I can get a free, fermenter or maybe a free something and a free beer and a big, but it doesn't pay the rent or anything, does it? Doesn't pay the rent or, put food on the table. That's for sure. Puts beer on the table. Craig Tube. Is he still alive? Don't say his name 3 times, he'll turn up. He used to all the time. He doesn't anymore. But anyway, will I have one more beer? I've only had 2. Trying to think what I'll have. I need something to wash out that West Coast, which I've never said that before in my life. I think he still, he went down a bit of a rabbit hole talking the politics and stuff, and fair enough. That's what he wanted to do, and that always halves your audience, doesn't it? But he's still quite popular. But he's like, I think he still does a stream, like his music stuff. Yeah, take it easy. So, I think he still does his music stuff. But I think as far as brewing, there's only so many times you can brew a tin of extract, right? It's even the same for me. There's only so many times I can brew a batch of all grain. There's not. It's all the same. A little bit of different hop and a little bit of different grain, but in the end, yeah. Well, my mate still raves about it, but he's in the. I think he's always thinks he's one that step ahead, and good on him, because one day he will be. But he sends me, he's one of those people that sends you a new version of Facebook every week, and then a new version of this every week, and then fucking a new tweet, and so everyone signs up. All right, let's fuck off Facebook, and then you go there twice, and then you go, what am I doing here? Yes, but you never know. It was like me with Instagram. I went stuff Instagram. Should have been on Instagram. TikTok I still don't do. Someone like me should be on all of them, but Instagram, I thought, this is just photos. This is crap. And then it went to video, and then, now I'm playing catch up. Yeah. It's always the way, isn't it? All right, what am I going to have? I might have I don't know. I'll have to go and look at the fridge. A Tupperware pyramids. Yeah. And Craig's getting old too, although he's not that much older than me, I don't think. Right. But he lives in Canada, the poor son of a bitch. No, Canada's all right. We love Canada. Hi, everyone from Canada. All right, it's Australia's trying to be like Canada anyway, which is a bit sad. All right. I don't know what to have. What should I have? I've always had beer in this fridge. All right, I'll go in the. I'll go in the. All right, hang on. I'll be back in a sec. Oh, you can hear me. I don't have to. I don't know how strong this Bluetooth is, but my wife's asleep. All the kids are. It's in that fridge. That's one of my beers. Well, there's a lot of my beers in this one. All right, what I might have is. Oh. I can't get it without making a noise. Hang on. Knock things over and wake everyone up. What's this? Oh, I might try one of those. Something different. Better get a clean glass. There's all those bloody terpenes. All right. This is the Bridge Road Brewers spring beer. Is it spring already? Not yet, is it? Is it? I don't know. Hoppy Belgian Blonde, Mosaic, Eldorado, Enigma, Northern Brewer, and Fuggles. Only 4.4% though. No, that'll do. Tomorrow's my big drinking night. So who knows what this is going to be like? Well, as I said, I was talking to Ben, the brewer, or not the brewer, the owner now. Owner, brewer, whatever, on Saturday, and he said it was all right. Just don't want the can slug, and I didn't get it. Good. Oh, it's got that Belgian thing going on for sure. It's about the same colour. Oh, a little bit lighter maybe than the West Coast. Well, it's the same brewery that West Coast was from. It's a bit stinky, but not in a bad way, but it's got to be the yeast, I reckon. Yeah, it's like a Belgian blonde pack full of American hops. Although all the flavour is just the yeast. It's weird they whacked Fuggles in there, isn't it? Mosaic, Eldorado, Enigma, Northern Brewer, and Fuggles. That's a strange combination. Strange combination. Yeah, it's like a Belgian blonde, but I actually think it would have benefited from, even I've only had a sip, from the bigger booze. You know, the Belgian blondes, well, I don't know the ones. Most of the ones I drink here are about 6% or something. A little bit bigger. Yeah, it's different. It's nice. It's different. Cracking a double IPA from Fiat. Scottish brewery. Don't think I've had one of those. Zaka, Columbus, and Mosaic. So I'm looking forward to next weekend. That'll be my first time at least pouring, or when I say my beer, it's a collaboration beer. But pouring one of my beers I brewed at a festival. Although, as I said last time, my beer was served at the Adelaide festival, just not under my name. It was sold by somebody else under their name, but that's fine. I don't have a license, so I technically it can't be really under my name anyway. I'm not allowed to sell beer. That's why I don't. Is it any good, Little Wolf? Is that where you are over there? Where are you from? What are you doing up at this? Although you're up at this time of night drinking. Or morning. Although if you're Scottish, it's probably breakfast. Yeah, my red ale that I've got in a couple of those kegs sitting down behind me, those white ones, ended up with, we used some, that was a, what was that, 200 litre batches? It was a bit more. It was probably closer to 250 litres, I think. Yeah, somewhere there anyway. So, and we used a Mosaic. I can't remember how much we used. Was it just two of these? It was a big packet. I think it was just two of these. But I tell you what, in the beer, yeah, you get a whack of Mosaic. And I put a heap of other hops in too. But you can tell the Mosaic's there. I really want to go back and brew my, like, well, I keep saying it in many streams, like my black metal IPA or whatever. Or anyway, it doesn't have to be that beer, but back to my original beers. You know, you always use Centennial, Columbus. Even before Mosaic was big, yeah, it was like Centennial, Columbus, Cascade, those kind of beers. And it's been ages since of course, I've done a lot with Mosaic because it's kind of still in fashion, but Centennial goes so well in. Actually, there's a bit of Centennial in my red ale here too, but I think the Mosaic takes over it. Might have one more beer after this. I shouldn't though. It's at 11 o'clock. Oh no, I won't. I thought it was early still. I forgot I started so late. No, save up for tomorrow night. I think that's all I had to do tonight. Let's take that reading. I can't believe it. It's at 12, see? It's at 12. They brewed it for a local punk band and they put it up against the Birds of a Dutch Grim. And I won. Well, funny you should say that. Cy, that was in the chat before, he brewed a version of it. I think it was nearly exactly the same. I think he had to, maybe change an ingredient or something. And he put it in an IPA competition. And I'm sure he got like second or something. Yeah, man, just all you need is flow. Yeah, watch that video on him, Hyper. You shouldn't have any problem as long as you can try and get a good flow. So make sure your crush isn't too fine. You're gonna have wheat. So, but that's still, is it malted wheat? Do you try and use malted wheat? I guess you did. Just get a good flow. Turn down the elements. Any single vessel or any vessel, it doesn't really matter. Any system, if you're trying to do all these different step mashes and stuff, they're tough, right? They're tough. So if you're trying to do, go from, I don't know what you are trying to do. The recipe kit from Kegland, yeah, I guess they're not bothering with step mashes and stuff. I can't be bothered having a look. I will have a look. Hang on. Kegland. Wheat beer kit. The American wheat beer kit. Is that the one? Wheat it. That's it. Yep. All right. I've still got my esky here. I'm going to do another batch in it just for shits and giggles. All right. What have we got here? You get a kilo of rice hulls. You're joking. Why, mate? You won't use all them. Or is that extras? Now I'm confused. Anyway, so as it says, mash, heat strike water, brewing salts, strike water. Oh, yeah, so there's no step mashing or anything. Good. Chill method. Why would they no chill change the... Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense they changed the hops from 60-minute to 30-minute for the no chill method. That doesn't make sense at all. Just doesn't make sense. Anyway, they do them. Doesn't make fucking sense. After 30 minutes, you're not getting any more bitterness out of a hop, so it just doesn't make sense. I don't know why they do that. It's pretty simple. All right, cool. So it's a basic recipe. You don't have to worry about amber ale. Oh, I haven't done that for you. God, you've been around a while, little wolf. Do I know you by any other name, maybe? Yeah, so, yeah, you shouldn't have any problems, man. Like, do your strike water. Be recirculating with your strike water so you know the whole system's at strike temp. Mix your grain in. Take your time, 5 minutes to mix your grain in if it takes that. Probably won't take that long. It's only 4 kilo grain. I don't know how much water they said to start with. With 4 kilo, like normally I start at 20, but with 4 you could probably even go a little bit under. But 18 or something. But so you got plenty of water, plenty of space. There should really be nothing to worry about. So yeah, strike temp. Make sure you're there. Everything's mixed in. Mix your grain in. Put a flow on. Just like probably a little bit, about a third speed, I say. But I don't know how you measure that. You don't want a full flow, but a bit less than half flow. Turn your elements down to like even 30% if you're having troubles if you think you're overshooting or whatever. Just put your elements down to 30%. Don't fuck with your pump percentage. Leave that 100% percentage, but control the flow with the tap, not the pump setting. And you put the lid on and leave it alone, and you shouldn't have to worry, man. You should just as long as you put those elements down to 30%, as soon as after you mash in, right, put them down to 30%, just walk away and leave it. Or don't walk away too far. But the more you leave it alone, the better it'll be. As long as you got your flow going, check that it's not backing up. But with 4 kilo of grain with rice hulls, and as long as it's hopefully their crush is good, or your crush is good, then you shouldn't have a problem. Get in there and give it a stir halfway through the mash. Do that more than once if you want to. Don't scrape the bottom. But get in there and give it a stir. There's nothing wrong with that. Helps. What's your... I think a lot of people get into trouble chasing efficiency. And, in my 3V, other systems, I used to set the efficiency, I was 82 or something. But, software is different. And now in my fucking Brewfather, I don't really like Brewfather, but everyone uses it. All the beginners use it. So I've had to use it to make it easier for beginners. Mine's set down to like 72 or something now, 72%, maybe 74, 70, depends on a big beer be like 72, but 74. And don't worry about it. As long as you're getting it's consistency, right? And if don't listen to the wankers that get on and say, I get 95% every time or whatever. Like it's not what it's about. And the difference between the percentages sounds big, but is in real life is pretty small. And so next time, if you have to add a handful of grain extra compared to what somebody else does, fuck, what's 5 cents or something, but probably not even 5 cents, you know? And all the pros, they change breweries, once they move from one place to another, and they go through the same shit as everybody else does. I think 65 is what the magazines are set. Whenever you used to buy a brew magazine, their efficiency was always set to 65. But, it's just so hard to calculate, right? I know, it's not hard, but it's like there's so many different settings that just you change one setting and it can make a huge difference. Yeah, and never be afraid. If you really want that beer to be 5%, always over aim because you can always water down, or add some sugar. It doesn't matter. It's not going to thin out your beer. One of the biggest myths ever: adding a bit of sugar thins out your beer. Never. It just doesn't. Yeah, if you swap out a kilo of grain for a kilo of sugar, your beer might end up a little thinner, but normally you have to add 300 grams or something of sugar to something that doesn't thin your beer. So yeah, you just got to, if you happen to only get 68, 66 for the rest of your life, like the difference in grain is going to be 200 grams or something from somebody else. Like in the end, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it does bug you. I know it does because I've been there before. Every time I used to use wheat, I don't know what it was, and I think it was my crush because wheat's very much smaller, so you just got to watch your crush on the wheat. Nowadays I got it down, but there was a time there, I can't remember when it was, 10 years ago or something. I went off wheat. One, I didn't really like wheat beers, but it was the wheat yeast I didn't like, not wheat. But this is back before craft beer was big, right? So I'd go and buy a wheat beer and go, oh fuck, well, I don't like that. It must be the wheat, but it was the yeast, the banana stuff and that I didn't like at the time. Still not a huge fan now, to be honest. I'd rather spicy side than the banana side, but some people love the banana, right? This one for a Belgian, I mean, it's not, yes, there's more like green banana. Sometimes it's very overripe or like candy banana or something. Candy lolly banana. So yeah, I blamed wheat. I didn't know. It was before the internet. Every time I had a wheat beer, I go, oh, Jesus. But then later on when I started brewing here, I had problems with wheat. But again, it can be the software, like Brewfather. I've said this a million times too, but if you look at some of the oats on Brewfather, they've got them at 85. If you go into the settings of the oats, and they've got them in at 85% conversion, and you just don't get that from oats. So every time I was putting oats in the beer in Brewfather, I'm going, fuck, I'm 5-6 points down. What's going on here? And then I looked in, went a little bit deeper. That's the trouble with Brewfather. You got to delve into menus. That's what I don't like. You got to with things like Beersmith, even though it really confuses the hell out of beginners and stuff, and me sometimes too. But everything's there in front of you on a screen, numbers everywhere, which gets a bit confusing. But it's all there in Brewfather. All right, I've got to dive into this thing and dive into this thing. It's a little bit annoying. But yeah, so I usually use a generic oats, flaked oats, because I buy it from Woolies, so it's not a brand, Woolies brand isn't in Brewfather. So and most of them are set to like 85%, and you don't get that from a flaked oat most times. Sometimes you might. Oops, my TV's going to turn off, which is probably a good sign that I should turn off too, because I wasn't meant to be on this long. Oh, come on. This timer on this TV. This was this is a Kmart television. They had a DVD in the built-in, which was only about $200, which was a bargain back in the day. But it was for when we had Jenna, my youngest. Gosh, it was before she went to school. She's 14 now, so it's got to be 10 years old. And so you'd put DVDs in it for her. They'd walk away and she'd be dancing. Yay. But it's got a timer and you can't change it. It goes off after 4 hours if you haven't pressed the remote control. And so you'd think you'd be right, she'd be happy, and you'd go and start doing something. Next minute she'd be screaming, fuck, oh, that telly again. Do you ever just chuck hops in and say, well, look, not really, little wolf. I mean, I could do grain now. I know. I've done it that long. I know that container holds about 1.3 kilo grain, so it's not really guessing anymore. So if I do 4 of those, hops. But look, it depends. If I do an old school, if a beer that I really, really want to be really good, no, I'll measure them and because I like hops in the boil. But if you want to be one of these, if you want to just brew like an IPA style thing, then of course you can wait till the whirlpool, drop the temperature down, throw a bunch of hops in. It doesn't really matter so much. But saying that, the HPA 033, that's what I should have had. Beer was made from an experimental hop. I had a rough estimate of the AA. But it was a whole hop, I didn't know what I was going to get from it. So in the end, that was a bit of a guess. I wouldn't be scared. If I had to do it, I wouldn't be scared of it. But, it's like, I mean, yeah, I'd do it if I had to, but I'm trying to think of a good. I was going to say pulling it. I don't know. I was going to say a lot of things that I probably shouldn't about. Get my mind out of the gutter and try and think of something. Keep going back to talking about hookers, and I don't know why, but that doesn't make any sense to anybody. But it was the analogy I was going to make. I would do it if I had to. About the hookers, and I shouldn't have said anything. If you had to, you would. That's all you had. I wasn't going there, and that wasn't. It's time to turn off. I think that's it. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. See you later. And if you're at Bendigo next weekend, I'll see you there. I'll leave it on for a second so I don't thanks for everybody. I can't see who's here. I'm not looking. I can't see a chat list or anything. So, so thank you for all the people that haven't chatted and those that have. Hyper and Wolf and John Carter was here before, and Cy was here before, and Innocent Bystander and Mick, and I think I said John already. Boltzman and I didn't see Panabo Noel from Philippines. Sorry about that. It's like looking through the windows at Play School or whatever it was. Was that Mr. Doobie? I don't know. Made in Greece. Exit Home Brew. Beero Coordination. I can never remember how that's said. Northwest. IJ. Cam Stands. Aiden was at the start. I think that must be it. All right. Take it easy. And everyone else that was watching in the background, get out of the back seat. Get in the front seat. Should have said that at the start, shouldn't I? See you tomorrow night if you're at Twitch. Otherwise, catch you later. I might go live from the beer. No, it's a silly idea. See you, Trev, John, Hyper, Wolf. Here we. You will not be able to reconnect. Your stream will stop and you will no longer be live. Well, that's why I press stop.